Hi, intrepid viewers. Well, I have spent the weekend with 250 odd Pacific Islanders, so I'm continuing the theme here. We've had so many amazing musical acts on over the weekend for the party, which went for 2 days, and it's just been a total buzz. But I tell you why I love Polynesians. On day two, because let's be honest, a lot of us were very hungover after the bigger party, one of the boys arrived with a cooked breakfast for 10 people, just brought it into the house, not a word spoken, left it all laid out. You got to love that. Well, meanwhile, we seem to be tippy-toeing towards the Senate trial. So I wanted to have a look. And I wanted to have a look with the Russian cards, and then I'm getting to your requests. So let's have a look. We do this all the time because things change in the night, do they not, intrepid ones? You know, so many issues. So what is going to happen with the Senate trial? Is it going ahead soon? What can we expect? Let's have a look here. Here we go. Oh, I always get that card. It's a funny business. Oh, okay. So bang in the middle, the King of Pentacles. In my Rider-Waite deck, this can be Trump. In this, I don't think so. It's a bigger player. It could be McConnell, but the figure doesn't speak to me of McConnell. So I think it's bigger again. This could also, I think, even be a Murdoch vibe. Not Rupert, but Lachlan Murdoch. It fits in more with the image of this. So although he seems to be allowing some Fox commentators to actually deliver some news, by and large, he's treading in his father's footsteps. And Murdoch is, senior that is, has also been a player in Brexit, as have the Mercers, as have Eric Prince. So it could be a conglomerate of these big workers behind the scenes for conservatism. Might not be one person, more a few of them together. So I think we've got McConnell coming up here. So the past actions, the Republicans have the key to the door of the Senate trial, obviously. Now, someone's holding the door, so even if the key gets open, it's being held shut, which is quite an interesting image. Equally, a hand could turn the knob and unlock the lock. In other words, the dreary Susan Collins and the Miss Sit on the Fence with barbed wire up your butt, Lisa, and these ones, they actually have the key to the key. But will they stand up? So, going forward here, in their hopes and fears, you have the Fool card. It's like some of these ones I was just describing. They're on their knees begging the other GOP, the Leningrad Lindsays, the Mitch McConnells and stuff, to listen to reason. I think this is them, not Dems begging. I think this is them. It's moderate Republicans begging the others, and they're not looking too hopeful, you'd have to say. Underneath the Queen of Cups, now this is what's at stake emotionally here, and it's going to get quite emotional. I think the Dems are going to try and keep a very firm, professional, grown-up sort of tempo going. The emotion, I think, is going to come from the GOP. Expect more shouting, more hysteria generally. They've got to disguise the fact they've backed a losing ticket, and they'll disguise it with emotion. Well, money's changing hands, does it not, all the time with these people? Now, this is an interesting take on the Six of Pentacles. In the Rider-Waite, it's giving alms to the poor and so forth. This is slightly different. Look at the hands of, if you like, the poor child. One hand out asking for something from the wealthier, but the other hand's ready to give. So this is like vote buying in the context of this trial. He's saying, I'll give you some money, but I want your vote. So the stronger members of the GOP are still holding firm. And I think that's what this exchange is about. If you do not vote with us in a block, we will punish you. So their biggest challenge, Seven of Cups, it's the ongoing delusion. You know, there's really a veil, literally a veil over their sanity. And so they've been in bed. Dare I say, I have nothing against sex workers, viewers, please. I'm just working with the imagery of the cards. But let's say she's a woman of the night. This is not someone who's stuck on a street corner servicing a pimp. This is someone who knows her power in her own right. So they've got in bed here. Their biggest challenge is how to get out of this situation. So this could also be sex scandals. There could be a sex scandal involving, my first digression, remember those 12 GOPs who went to Moscow on the 4th of July or something like weirder than weird? If they went to Moscow, yes, they were filmed. And let's hope they don't have skeletons in their closet, because here comes a sex scandal involving either Trump or senior GOP. Now, short-term outcome, leaks, leaks, leaks. I think if nothing else, the middle of the road, namby-pamby GOP players will be talking to reporters behind the scenes. So now I'm going to use my new astrology cards to get a vibe on what is happening. So just to sum that up, there's a handful of GOP who actually hold the key to the nation, to history, to doing the right thing, to standing up to the Yeti, being proud, putting country first. They could do all that. But, meh, they're too timid, they're too scared, they're too easily bought off. They've probably got a few scandals of their own. Please, spare me. So, there's a sad lack of integrity, and you can be assured, American viewers, you are not alone. You are not alone. What fell out? Ooh, Mercury, the planet of communication. So, this is Mercury striding out. Mercury also rules Gemini, so this rules the trumpet as well. So he'll be launching himself fiercely, you know, into attack mode and saying anything that falls into his head and out of his Yeti lips. So Mercury is going, the message is going to keep going at an accelerated pace. Okay, what else do we have here? We have, oh, it's amazing how these cards work. Sorry, viewers. So, over the Fool, this is GOP people on their knees. Over that, you have Taurus, which is an earth sign, a no-nonsense sign. This might give them a bit of courage and gravitas. It is possible. I'm only hoping here, viewers. They could actually stand up. There could be a few more of them. What they're up against is the moon. So in this, I love this card too. It's sort of Xena, warrior woman meets the moon, isn't it, really? She's a straight shooter, but there is so much deception around the moon and around people's deep fears of Trump. That's people who are like us, who have good reason to be afraid of Trump, but do our best not to let that fear take hold. That's really important, viewers. Do not let the fear take hold. So there's courage. I'm picking up courage from these cards, despite the lunacy. The moon is also lunacy. And that's followed by Pisces, which is also very Neptunian. So deceit, subconscious deceit and conscious deceit, every form of lies and making webs and trying to hide the truth, enormous efforts to hide the truth. But I love in this deck the Fate Shifters Tarot. She's a sharpshooter coming off the top there. Well, that's interesting. That gives a bit of hope. A bit of hope. So now I want to use the Russian cards again. Bolton is also, you could say, the key in the door. So let's see what is happening with Bolton. Have an update on all these people. So, update on the fires while I'm shuffling. So the fires are still raging. We've had cooler temps. We've had a bit of rain. No, it's not enough rain. Okay, so thank you for your kind wishes and keep the pressure up on our government. The only thing that's going to shift us out of the dark ages on this is international humiliation. And Obama's spoken out, more and more people have spoken out. These fires have set back our carbon emissions, our carbon emission targets 400 years. Am I proud to be an Aussie or what? You know, how dare these people, how dare they steal the future? They are future eaters. A pox upon them. Oops, shouldn't curse. Entertainment channel. Okay, so keep up the work. Keep writing to our politicians. Write in local papers. Do whatever you can. Okay, now this is Bolton. He's a funny one. I never thought I'd be in a Bolton camp. Don't know that I trust him even now. Prolific note taker. He was there and he hates the Yeti. Like seriously hates the Yeti. He knows what an ignoramus he is. And even though he's a hawk, I don't think Bolton even trusts Trump with hawk issues because he never bothers to find out anything. Okay, so let's Bolton. Focus, Lena. Bolton, Bolton. Bolton. Bolton's got news on Giuliani. As much as Trump, Giuliani. Look, this is taking the message to the armed services. I think Bolton is already talking with Pentagon officials at a high level. I think this is actually already happening. And the Pentagon have said to him, please do anything you can to control this man. we are being used as his puppets and his playthings. This is not good. It's not good for the morale of the armed services, and it's not good for the country. And I think there's a lot of to and fro between Bolton and high-level officials at the Pentagon. That's interesting. The Star, the USA in some decks now that I use, but this is the 12-chair tarot. The Russian deck is called the 12-chair tarot, and the whole story is looking for the jewels in the chair. So I think this is looking for the answers, looking for the secrets, looking for the recordings in this case. Now here's Giuliani. Is it not a perfect depiction of Giuliani? This is Ukraine, Russia, everywhere he goes, eavesdropping. They've got everything because he, like Trump, uses an unsecured phone. Now, on the one hand, this could be the daughter or the paid escort, but as you can see clearly, she's spectacularly not interested. So this is Giuliani dining out, thinking everything's cool, thinking he's got the finger on the pulse, but this guy actually, he looks a bit like Comey, doesn't he? This guy knows it all. So I think Bolton, with these two cards, Bolton has the stuff on Giuliani that could actually make the direct connections between Giuliani breaking the law, therefore Trump breaking the law with Giuliani. Follow my drift. This is big. This is very big. Outcome, the judgment card. I'd like to think this is Bolton speaking at the Senate trial. Let us pray. Okay, but in any event, it's the judgment card. But I think the connection's actually going to be Trump, Giuliani. Ooh. Now, Pompeo, he's almost as Teflon as the Yeti. But you know how when you have a Teflon pan a long time, viewers, we know what happens. The stick-free thing wears off. And you'd have to think they've had a good run. They've had 3 years, they've had 5 years if you count the campaign. So they're due. They are so due for a fall. So this is Pompeo now. Pompeo. Pompeo. Your requests. Pompeo. And I'll have a quick look at Nancy. Okay, Pompeo. He's a bit more puzzled and worried than we thought. Oh, look. He's gone into a meeting in the Oval Office. He's come out a bit puzzled. He's prepared to play dirty. He's like Bill Barr and all, prepared to play dirty. That doesn't shock them. That doesn't stress them. What stresses them is dealing with the Yeti, because he doesn't stay with a plan, even a devious plan, even a plan that's only good for him. He can't stick with it because he has the concentration span of a toadstool. So he's coming out going, geez, you know, I'm worried now. He hides it. He's been on his knees in the Vatican. He's been shelling out, you know, whatever's left over from various children's college funds. He's been bribing Vatican officials. Oh, allegedly. He knows all about Firtash in Austria, all of that. But he's a bit puzzled and he's a bit worried the Yeti can't pull it off. See, this is the thing, isn't it? These guys are prepared to sink their reputations, put everything on the line for this man, and he wouldn't know how to spell their surnames. Now we have the Empress. Could be Ivanka. Pompeo, who's the woman? This could be I think it doesn't look like it. Doesn't have an Ivanka vibe for me. I'm going to stick my neck out here, and I think this is Rebecca Mercer, who is a bit weird. You remember that Miss Havisham story? You know, she got jilted at the altar and she wore her wedding dress forever. Rebecca Mercer's a bit strange. I think it could be her. She's turned up in Pompeo's reading. I don't like all these international trips he's been doing to Europe. I think, you know, all that stuff. Anyway, here we have the Page of Cups. That's a message, and it can be a surprise. He comes out of the Oval Office puzzled and concerned. Message and surprise. What's coming up from Pompeo? Well, the proverbial shag on a rock, being isolated with the tide coming in. It's a very bleak outcome. Now, I'm sorry about the Schadenfreude and my nature viewers, but it's about time some of these came undone. So that's what I'm seeing for Pompeo. Now, I'm going to go back to my regular deck for Melania, because I'm traveling and I haven't got my Toff deck. So in this segment, which is too much news, not enough gossip, I've heard on the grapevine Melania doesn't live at the White House. What have you heard? I've heard she lives in Maryland with her parents. So let's just have a quick look at Melania. A little bit of goss on Melania. How's she filling her days? Flotus in waiting. What does she do? Besides try and call out bullies when she's married to the greatest bully in the Northern Hemisphere, you know. Strange. Melania. Oh, she's planning a getaway. He hasn't got a clue. She's coming into her own. Got her problems. What justice? This spread speaks to divorce. I mean, we can't be surprised. The divorce isn't surprising. What was surprising was the marriage in the first place. Look, you know. Anyway, the rip-off card. Now, she could be feeling ripped off, but really, I'm sorry. You know, have a garage sale, love, or a car boot sale. You know, sell a few handbags, sell a few jewels and shoot through. I'm sorry, my sympathy does not extend to Melania. But I suspect she's actually, this is sort of illegal thieving. Over and above what she's entitled to, I think she's going to take quite a bit with her when she goes, and it is a question of when, not if. She's plotting and planning. This is the Moon card. Emotionally, I think she left several years ago, but nonetheless, she's actively planning now her pathway out. She sees herself on the other side of this as being a free woman in her own right, while she's still in her middle years and still attractive and can attract another rich, ghastly husband or whatever her life goal is. She's not an evil person. She would like to do a few more good works, I think. She just doesn't know what that looks like. She's not out of the woods yet. This is a 9. She's nearly there. 10s are completion. She is so nearly there. And this would say to me, she keeps a room at the White House, but if you had $1 for every night she slept there, you'd still be broke in a week's time. She is not there. She's near the end. And this even looks like Melania a bit, doesn't it? She sees that as justice. She sees taking as much as she can from him as justice. And why not? I mean, you know, they're as shallow as each other. They're fully deserving of each other. And if she wants a life on the other side of him, she's more than entitled to it. She does not need my sanction. And now, beloved and intrepid ones, off I go again, and I will see you ever so soon. Take care.